Welcome to Nugg Talk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nugg Talk, a weekly podcast where we talk about everything going on in the NBA and everything going on specifically with your Denver Nuggets. I'm your host, Loki, here once again with my co-host, Phil, on a gloomy day.
Pouring rain.
Yeah, it's pouring rain. It's bad. But, you know, when they say, when it rains, it pours, and that's how it is for our injuries. So,
yeah, seriously.
We will talk about that. That's the first thing we'll get into. So, we were playing Golden State. I really think it's that arena.
Yeah, that arena is cursed.
I blame that arena at this point. It has something to do with that. But anyways, we were playing Golden State. Very beginning of the game. Will Barton goes in the corner. And we saw it because we were out and we saw it on TV, but we had a bad view of it. We just saw him immediately fall down, and it looked like he grabbed his knee. Luckily, it wasn't. It was a non-contact injury, though, and apparently his hamstring did pop. I think he has a hamstring tear. It looks like he'll be out anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months, depending on how bad the tear is. It seems like it's pretty bad. It also, just knowing his history, seems like he won't be back for the presumable future.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts about him getting injured and just kind of all the injuries are stacking up?
I mean, we got the second worst injury possible with Jamal, and I'd say this is probably like, especially taking Jamal's injury into account, this was one of like the worst injuries we could have gotten. Yeah. Especially with Monte also being down.
Yep.
He should be back somewhat soon though, but who knows?
Yeah.
It just is. It's unfortunate because now, I guess one positive, is that all the guard depth that we were talking about, how we had too much guards, is actually going to help us now. So
yeah, it's finally coming in. But someone did also mention is like it's kind of ironic that the two people we traded in the Aaron Gordon trade are like probably the two people we need the most right now.
Yep.
And Gary Harris and RJ Hampton to replace the void of Monte, Jamal, and Will. But you're right, Monte will hopefully be back soon. My initial thought when I saw it was, again, like I think anyone who saw it, they were like, oh God, please not another ACL tear, because that would have been terrible. Not only for the fact that we don't want Will to get hurt. You know, we might not like Will as a player sometimes, but we never want someone to get hurt.
Yeah.
So we were worried about that. We didn't want him to be out for a year, but even if he was out for a year, it would have been even worse because then he would definitely accepted his option and then we would have just paid him for nothing.
Yeah.
At least he'll be able to play next year. He'll be able to contribute, which we'll definitely need with Jamal still being out next year. So long term, it's great that it's just a hamstring. Short term, it hurts us even more going into the playoffs because most likely, I doubt he plays in the first round. It'd be very unlikely. If we move on, there's a possibility he could come back. But then again, I feel like this is just like this thing it was last year when we were in the bubble. He got hurt. He never came back because I think it's safe to say at this point, Will is injury prone. I don't think he's had a season in the past 3 years where he hasn't been hurt, which is really sucks for him. We want him to be healthy. We want him to play. He was finally going to play in his first like actual postseason. He got benched in the 1-2 years ago. Last year he didn't get to play. He would actually got to contribute for once. But it just doesn't look like that's going to fall his way or our way, which sucks.
It really does.
But like you said, at least we have PJ, we have Facu. Hopefully we'll get Monte back. I'm sure they're going to be safe with it with all the injuries coming as of late. With, bringing him back into the fold. But, yeah, I mean, it sucks. It's a terrible injury, but it could have been worse. So, overall, thank God it wasn't an ACL or anything with his knee.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any Nuggets fan could have taken it.
Taking another ACL injury, yeah. That would have.
And an update on Jamal. His surgery went successful. He finally took off, a lot of the padding. It looks like the swelling's coming down. He's going to start doing his rehab. So far, everything's looking good with Jamal. It's just now time for the tough part, which is all on him. Is doing the rehab every day and kind of just reteaching himself how to walk on that knee and then how to shoot on that knee, how to play on that knee. It's a long road for Jamal, but we know he'll do it, and we're all with him. So that's best wishes out to Jamal. And then last thing we have to do is just talk about the games that we did and the games that we have coming up. The first game we have to talk about is Portland. So we went to Portland after winning 3 in a row. Monte's still out, obviously. We won in a nail-biting fashion, 106-105 against the Portland Trailblazers. Who would you say was your MVP for this game?
I'm guessing Jokic is not allowed.
I mean, we could do Jokic. We can just give it to him since he's the real MVP.
Yeah, we'll do Jokic for this one. MPJ was efficient as always, but I'll do Jokic, especially just because he's really been carrying us to some wins, despite missing Jamal. I think he deserves some love. We always say you can't have Jokic because he's always
going to be it if we did Jokic. But no, I think it's fair to give it to Jokic. I'll give it to an unsung hero. Well, two unsung heroes, I guess. I'll give it to Shaquille Harrison and Facu because they did an exceptional job on PJ. They did very well guarding him. Not PJ, sorry, on Damian.
Yeah.
They did a very good job on guarding Damian. They held him to very little amount. I know he had 22, but he shot 9 of 23 and 2 of 10 from 3.
Yeah, he had a bad game.
And you keep him on that shooting, that's really good. And, it gave us a shot to win. And whenever Shaquille came in, he played really good defense, not only on Damian, but also, I think, on CJ. And even though that game came down very close and we almost kind of blew it at the end, luckily Norman Powell missed the game winner. At least we came out on top, and then we won 4 in a row. So you can only be happy as a Nuggets fan continuing to win with the mounting injuries. But then our next game, we went to Golden State and we got trounced. We lost 118-97. Obviously, we talked about Will getting hurt in this game. What were your thoughts about this game where Malone basically said that even though Will got hurt, they should all play and do their job, which he said they did not do for this game?
Yeah, everybody played pretty poorly. Jokic got his numbers, but he also played pretty poorly as well. MPJ was good in this game, but that's really all I can really say. Yeah. Everybody else struggled. It feels like, they just didn't really seem to care about this game, especially after Will went down.
Yeah. I definitely say a big issue of this game, especially for me, was just defensive effort wasn't there. There was a lot of times where they would miss a bad shot on the offensive side of the ball, and then they wouldn't run back, and then Kelly Oubre would score an easy fast break with no one contesting, or I don't know, some of Toscano or some other of their no-name kind of guys, not very Steph.
Poor effort on the defensive end.
No, it was poor effort, and Steph didn't even have really. I mean, he still had 32, but the first half he didn't have that good of a game, and then the second half they kind of just eased up on him even more. They allowed Draymond to get 10 assists, over 10 assists, and we talked about whenever Draymond gets 10, he actually got 19 in this game. And you're not going to win if Draymond gets 19 assists. That's just insane. It was poor defensive effort overall on just coverages, communication, everything. I really think they let Will's injury get to them too much just because, again, it was the same court that literally happened to Jamal. So I'm sure they had some PTSD, but you can't let that get to you while you're playing, especially this close to the season, end of the season, getting ready for the playoffs. Fighting for playoff position because even I'm sure they don't care to play the Lakers, but I'm sure they rather not play the Lakers as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it was just a waste of a game because we could have played better than we did, but it is what it is. At least that's our only loss in the last 7 games because after that we came back home. We played Houston. We won 129-116. Career highs all over the place. So MVP is going to be hard for this, but to start off, MPJ had a career high 39 points. PJ had a career high 23 points, and Facu had a career high 13 assists. So who are you giving the MVP to?
Just based on the pure efficiency that we saw from him, I'm going to give it to PJ. Okay. He only missed 3 shots, and 2 of those were threes. Mm-hmm. This is kind of the PJ Dozier that obviously you'd want. You can't expect that from him because that's not who he is as a player, really. Mm-hmm. But when he plays like this, that is just very, very sweet for us. It was a bad team, but we're starting to beat the bad teams now. That's true. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely love PJ's performance. It was great to see him come in his first game starting and replacing for Will and just came out and looked super efficient and even beat his consistency from 3. We make a joke that he's always going to make 33% from 3. He beat that for once and got 3 of 5 from 3. So good for PJ. My MVP will be MPJ because he did get his career high of 39. Also very efficient shooting, 13 of 21, 8 of 12, 6 rebounds. And it's just good to see that he, is kind of blossoming in the second role, at least against not so good teams right now. At least like when we're playing bad teams, he's doing very well in that role, and he's being exceptional, and he's played exceptional since the All-Star break and since Jamal's injury. So that's, like I said, that was going to be the bright side of Jamal getting hurt. Looks like it's panning out. He's just got to show up against the good teams a little bit more, and he'll start seeing a couple of those in our next couple of games that we're going to talk about. But it was good to see them come out against this Houston team that loses to everyone, and they didn't, blow a game that they shouldn't have.
We are sure.
So that's good to see. And then after that, we played Memphis. At home, we won 120-96. The game was kind of close for like the first 3 quarters, and then we kind of just blew the doors open. Who would be your MVP for this one?
I'll give it to MPJ this time, just because he was our leading scorer and he was pretty lights out this entire game.
Yep.
And he's just looking good. He's developing. He's flourishing, like you just said. And hopefully he just keeps it up. If he clearly has a ton of confidence right now. So hopefully that stays with him.
I think I'll also give the FPJ, but we'll also give a shout out to Jokic, who had 24, 15, and 5, just because, he keeps getting those MVP numbers, which he has to keep doing because we want him to win it. But I think he's solid for that. Once we get towards the end of the season, I'll make like an actual case where I'll delve into it on everyone who's involved. But I think Nicola's was great, but MPJ, just the way that he is, like you said, flourishing against these not so good teams, these either tanking teams or fringe playoff teams, and he's playing really well in that second role where now they're game planning for him specifically, and he's still playing well in that role. It's great to see. It's good also to see that Aaron Gordon's starting to play a little bit better in that third man role. He's had some good games. In this game, he had 15, shot 2 of 3 from 3, he had 5 rebounds. It's good to see that these guys are slowly getting into roles that they did not expect to have this year because of Jamal's injury, and hopefully they continue it because we're going to need we need MPJ probably be like a 25-point scorer in the playoffs for us. And we need at least Aaron Gordon to be anywhere from that 12 to 15 range on a consistent basis, probably in the playoffs. So it's good to see that they're kind of doing that again against not so good teams. So hopefully we see it coming up against better teams. But overall, like I said, we won 6 out of our last 7. I think out of our last 11, we're the most winning team in the NBA. And that's even with Jamal and Will's injury and Monte's. So, this team is playing exceptionally well through a lot of hardship. They're doing a really good job to fight through the adversity. And as a Nuggets fan, you can only be, proud to see it. Right now, we're still the 4th seed. I think we're only a couple games back of the Clippers and the Suns. But really, our next 4 games probably decides our fate for the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll get into it. The first game is Wednesday against New Orleans. We play at home. It's the first game of a back-to-back. We all know our struggles with New Orleans, and especially Zion. So how do you see this game going?
I'll say loss, just because I feel like we're kind of like I don't want to say we're due because we only lost on like 3 games ago, but I think this is a tough matchup for us, and we should win this, but I think we'll lose. That's kind of where I'm at for it. I won't be surprised if we win, but I just have a feeling Zion's just going to have his way with whoever we put on him. I guess our best bet's Paul or JaMychal, but
we'll start off with Aaron. We'll see how that goes.
Aaron. We haven't seen that matchup yet, so we'll see how it goes. But this is why we brought Aaron in, is to play defense against these kind of guys. So. Yeah.
And that's why I'll give it a win, just because I believe in Aaron Gordon to at least not stop Zion, but, make it hard on Zion. And then I also just believe in Nikola to put up big numbers, because the last time they played too, just because we don't have anyone to stop Zion, they don't have anyone to stop Jokic.
Yeah.
And I believe in Jokic, and I trust in MPJ now, because last time we played them too, MPJ destroyed them, and he outclassed Brandon Ingram in that game at least. Like he was far beyond better. He was more efficient. He just looked a lot better than Brandon Ingram in the last time they played, and I see that happening again. So I see us winning this game, just to start off that back-to-back. And then the next game we play the next night, which is a game we're actually going to, which will be fun.
Yeah, it will
even
be
though
fun.
it'll be weird with 4,000 fans. It's 4,000. But we'll explain how the experience was of a COVID game when we get on the next podcast. But we're playing Toronto on Thursday on the second night of a back-to-back. How do you see this game going?
I'm gonna say we win this game too. We're better than this team. They also don't really have anybody who can guard Jokic, unless you count OG, which you shouldn't. And yeah, I mean, this team is like kind of in no man's land right now. They're not really like in the playoffs, but they're also not tanking.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I feel like they should win. They have a lot of, that team now has a lot of young, inexperienced guys too, getting big roles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll say win.
Yeah, I feel like we should win this game, and I really do. But we're going with our friend who is a Raptor fan, and I just feel for some reason there's a thing in my stomach that has me feeling that we're going to lose this game. And I don't want to lose this game, but I just feel like we are. So I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to say we're going to lose this game, even though I feel like my brain's like, no, why are you saying that we should win this game? But I'm just going to go with L. I'm going to say we'll lose this, especially because it's off a back-to-back.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going to the game, but we'll see how the actual event is, and everything about being there is, with it not being an actual, like, still real experience of a basketball game.
Like a 10%.
Yeah, it's a very low percentage, and it's going to be interesting to see, but, maybe they can hear us while we're in the crowd. We can chant MVP for Jokic, which will be good to do, because he is the MVP, and that'll be fun to do. And then our next game after that is Saturday at Los Angeles, playing the LA Clippers on national TV. This is basically the game for the third seed, or at least to give us a shot for the third seed.
Yeah.
If we lose this, we're definitely 4. And there's no way around it unless Phoenix starts losing like a lot of games, which I don't see happening. So how do you see this big game going? This is probably the biggest game of the year for the Denver Nuggets in the regular season.
I don't really know. I want to say win, but I think I'm just going to say loss, because I just have a feeling that we're going to be the 4th seed. And I've kind of had that feeling for the past couple months now. So yeah, I'm going to say we lose this. It'll probably be close. But yeah, I'm going to say we lose.
I agree with you. I think we'll also lose mainly just because of the lack of Jamal Murray. I think Jamal Murray was always like especially for like offensively for us, it was always the thing that we could rely on when we need a bucket. Now, granted, we have MPJ, we have Jokic, they can do it. But like, I don't know, for some reason, Kawhi Leonard could not guard Jamal Murray. And I don't know why, but he just couldn't. I feel like Jamal was like a kryptonite thing for like Kawhi. Like he just always found a way to get a bucket on him. He never was shy of like when PG was on him, when Kawhi was on him, like, and he always showed up for those games. So not having him is definitely going to hurt. Also, it's on the road, and I just don't think that's going to help out, especially because now they have fans back too now. And they've been playing some really good ball as of late with the addition of Rondo and getting their pieces back healthy, getting PG and Kawhi actually playing more consistently. So I hope it's close, but I just think it'll be an L. Unfortunately, and then we'll probably be the 4th seed, and then this will be a playoff preview game, which we play the Lakers that Monday after playing the Clippers in Los Angeles. LeBron probably going to be back. We don't know. It looks like he's gearing up, but AD is back. So I guess we can do if it's just AD, and then if it's LeBron and AD. So if it's just AD, how do you see it going?
If it's just AD, I say we win. I think I made it well documented, maybe not on this podcast, but I don't think AD has the ability or the mindset, I guess, to like be the guy on a team, especially a team with not a ton of talent outside of those two, like they have good players, but that's not easy. I would say like this is basically the Pelicans without LeBron, and And Anthony Davis is also kind of still trying to get back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll say we win. If LeBron's back, we're probably gonna lose.
And that's my sentiment exactly. So if it's just AD, I think we'll win just because I think Jokic is too good. I think MPJ is too good right now to lose to a just AD-led team, especially when he's coming back from injury, especially since his was a little bit more serious. It was a calf that also, led to a little bit of irritation with his Achilles. And he took like 2 months off basically. So he's super rusty. Whereas LeBron, he's going to come back and he's just going to be LeBron. I have no doubt in my mind that LeBron comes back from this ankle injury and he'll just be ready to go. Just because, just like Jokic, he's such a high IQ player. He affects the games in so many different ways that are just not scoring. Mm-hmm. And it'll make it easier entirely on the Laker team. So if it's just AD, I say we win. If it's LeBron and AD, I say we lose. But we'll see how it goes. This is not a tough. It's like a tough back end of the stretch for these 4 games. It's tough to make us do LA and LA again.
Yeah.
But hey, if we win out, we have a real good shot at being a 3 seed. If we win out these next 4 games,
we could do it.
We could do it. But it really just depends on this week or this upcoming week. This is probably the biggest week for the Denver Nuggets. They have to do as best as they can to try to get that 3 seed. If not, we just got to bite the bullet and play the Lakers in the first round and just, give it our best shot. But yeah, I mean, that's everything for us. You have anything else you want to add?
I miss you, Jamal.
I miss Jamal too, yeah. But yeah, that's everything for us this week. If you like the podcast, please make sure to like and subscribe. Tell a friend. View us on all the other podcasting platforms. We're also on YouTube. But yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Go Nuggets.